in the comics, Constantine is known as a bisexual, and he only, I know.
You're the first one to ask us today, though.
Really?
No, but I have a question for you.
Yes.
When in the comics was he introduced as being bisexual?
It was back in Image, back before it was owned by DC.
Yes, but my point is it was about 12 years into the character's
Yes, it was. But I mean,
when
there are
that
different...
happened. It's not like he was introduced in...
No, it was
the
not
first
produced
comic.
for... Yes.
It happened 12 years later.
Right. But and that happens a lot. The thing is, culture changes and there's progression, and there are very few bisexual characters in the world. And I understand, in comics, and...
By the way, we didn't say he wasn't.
Well, good. Because the thing is, it isn't something that
we
necessarily...
just don't show him getting in bed with a man in the comics.
Yeah, and I wouldn't think that you would.
But neither did the comics.
No.
So I don't know what the big deal is.
Well, no, that's actually that's a clarification that actually my readers will be really, really happy to know about. So I actually appreciate that answer. I mean, definitely, because it's one of those things that I just felt needed to be addressed. But that's definitely like a positive thing, I think.
I will say this: how do you bring a character like Constantine, who has his?
I do another show with a bisexual character, so it's not like...
Yeah, no, I understand. It's just something, it's been on the Twitterverse and Tumblr.
Right. Constantine, he's a character that is bisexual, a hard smoker, a hard drinker. How do you balance that out on network television?
Yeah.
We don't have any, we're really not given any limits by NBC, which is nice. I will say,
By the way,
Dave and I...
he drinks like crazy. and he's a smoker in the show. We just can't show him inhale. That's the FCC. That's broadcast standard.
We're actually used to self-censoring ourselves. Like, as a network writer, you kind of learn what you can get away with, what you can't. And I have to say that NBC, to their credit, they've been pushing us to go darker and edgier. They're constantly pushing us. Like, the people that are in charge of NBC now are in charge of Showtime. When I was writing on Dexter, they were the same people that I answered to. And that's the standard that they want to bring to network television. And those are the kind of themes and sort of richness of character that they want to explore. So we've received nothing but open arms.
I was just going to say, what storyline are you most excited to be developing in the as things go on?
It's not as if we're sort of doggedly saying, okay, the first 6 issues are American Gothic and the next 3 are this or that. I mean, I would say the first season is loosely based on Alan Moore's American Gothic storyline from Swamp Thing, but in the first season we have done kind of our twist on some of the stories that were in the early Jamie Delano run, but there's a lot of stuff to draw from, whether it's Carrie or Azzarello or Ennis. I mean, if we're on the air long enough, we'll be dipping into all of those.
I am actually most excited for the first season. We're really exploring the whole Newcastle story, and over the course of the first season, we will meet all the Newcastle crew. And what's great about those characters is all the way through the end of the run, the seminal point of John Constantine's development is what happened at Newcastle, and it really went on to inform who he was. And so when you meet these characters who were there on the day, like how that event affected them, and also learning through them who John Constantine is, they're just great tools to better explore our characters. So for us, as we're looking ahead and planning stories, like there's a lot of richness that we're excited about.